Hi, my name is Christine Strandberg. I work as a city strategist at the Dutch impact organization Circle Economy. I was leading the development of the Highways Doughnut Toolkit, which was developed within the Live Labs 2 project in close collaboration with the highway authorities of Cornwall, Somerset, and Hampshire. In this presentation, I will explain a little bit more about Doughnut Economics more generally, and then dig into what the Highways Doughnut Toolkit is all about. So let's dig into it. Let's start by looking at the big picture of what Doughnut Economics is all about. This framework, developed by the British economist Kate Raworth, redefines how we think about prosperity in the 21st century. Instead of focusing solely on economic growth, Doughnut Economics asks, how can we meet the needs of all people while living within the means of our planet? The donut visual is made up of two key rings. The inner boundary represents the social foundation, which are the basic needs every person should have access to, as defined by the Sustainable Development Goals. And this includes, for example, food, education, and housing. Falling short of this creates a shortfall in human well-being. The outer ring represents the planetary limits, the environmental boundaries we must not cross, such as climate stability and biodiversity. And this, of course, is to, in the long run, avoid ecological collapse. And in between these two boundaries is the safe and just space for humanity. This is the sweet spot where everyone's needs are met, while we avoid harming the Earth's very important systems. Our goal then is to move society into this safe operating space and stay there sustainably. So, how have we put Doughnut Economics into practice in cities? Forward-thinking neighborhood cities and regions around the world that want to fundamentally transform their visions and dynamics have already started doing this and have taken different paths. Key here is that when we downscale the global donut to a place, the two sides of the donut becomes four lenses. If we unroll the donut, we can dive inside of it, thinking of the city's social foundation as well as ecological ceiling. Recognizing that a city has an impact here on its local ecology as much as on the planetary boundaries. And equally, it enables local residents to thrive here, but is also connected to people globally, impacting their well-being. So when exploring a Doughnut Economics approach with cities, every place, city, neighborhood asks one overarching question. How can our city become a home to thriving people in a thriving place, while respecting the well-being of all people and the health of the whole planet? And this one question embeds these four lenses: local social, local ecological, global social, and global ecological. So, in Live Labs 2, we then asked ourselves, how can we translate the concept of the four lenses and apply it to the highway sector to evaluate the social and ecological impacts of the sector, both locally as well as globally? And based on research, working sessions, and review rounds with asset managers and contractors, we finally gave birth to our very own Highways Doughnut. This summarizes what aspects the highway sector should consider to stay within the safe space of the donut. It is largely based on the original donut themes, but with adjusted language and added aspects specifically for our sector. Some themes were removed, such as food and housing, while others were merged, such as nitrogen and phosphorus loading and chemical pollution, into the new theme, hazardous materials. And finally, some were added, such as accessibility, low carbon mobility, and material footprint. And with this framework developed, we knew what to analyze, but how should we go about it? This is what we came up with. We developed two interrelated tools. The strategic tool evaluates county-wide strategies and plans in place to balance social and ecological considerations. The project tool, however, evaluates the implementation of the strategic directions at the project levels for planned maintenance, cyclic work, and reactive work. And though they operate as separate tools, evaluations from each level should inform and reinforce the other to create a cohesive approach. For each theme of the Highways Doughnut, we then developed a donut state, defining the desirable direction for each topic. Each donut state then drives the strategic and project evaluations towards that ideal future. And resources available within the Highways Doughnut Toolkit consist of 2 reports, one on the background of the methodology and the methodological steps we took, and another one on the step-by-step guidance on how to use the tool. We have also developed workshop canvases to be able to carry out assessments in workshop settings. And finally, the main document, a spreadsheet where you will fill in your assessments and scores. Now let's dig a little bit more into what these tools are about. And let's start with the strategic tool. Why should it be used? When should it be used? And what does it consist of? The Highways Doughnut strategy tool is used to assess the overarching policies, goals, and frameworks that guide the long-term management and development of the road network. This includes setting long-term targets, determining priorities for maintenance, and establishing standards and guidelines that ensure the road network meets community needs while staying within the planetary boundaries over time. And when should you apply the tool? The tool is developed to critically review and evaluate existing strategic documents. This can tap into existing review and revision rounds, such as the midterm review or other policy revision cycles. So what does the strategy tool consist of? The tool is constructed by 2 main sections. We have ambition and we have implementation. The ambition section evaluates the authority's current targets and the effectiveness of the monitoring framework available to track progress towards that defined state for each theme. Implementation assesses the operational alignment with the targets and evaluates the risk mitigation measures for each theme. The scoring framework used to evaluate the strategies ranges from 1 to 5. A score of 1 indicates poor performance, while a score of 5 signifies full alignment with the desired donut state. If a certain theme is considered to be not applicable, a score of 0 can be given, but this should be an exception and should be accompanied by clear justifications. We have also developed a weighting system where parts of the evaluation may be deemed more important than others. We have not made these decisions for you, and therefore left all equally important, where you can see here where the weights are 50% for each question in ambition and 50% for each of the 2 questions in implementation. And once you have filled in all the themes, you will be able to visualize the results into 2 donut visuals, one for ambition and another one for implementation. And with the donut visual, you will easily be able to compare the results between the ecological themes and the social themes. In addition, the spreadsheet lets you visualize the baseline and mitigation results side by side. This lets you compare your current strategy, policies, or contracts, but also compare them with the proposed improvement. Seeing where recommendations strengthen targets, monitoring, implementation, and risk mitigation, and also spotting remaining gaps that can be explored further. And this can help you make informed decisions, such as prioritizing policy updates, refining KPIs, allocating resources, and clearly brief senior leaders and delivery partners of the next steps. And if you prefer to overlay the ambition compared to the implementation scores, you can also see the same results in a spider diagram. These will be separated into social versus ecological lens instead, but here you can clearly see the difference between ambition and implementation. And now let's move into the project tool. Why is it developed? When should it be used? And what does it consist of? The project tool serves multiple purposes. For asset managers, the tool offers a clear, structured approach to evaluate and balance social and ecological impacts within each project, ensuring a streamlined approach. The project tool bridges the gap between high-level strategic goals and on-the-ground actions, transforming strategic directions into concrete, measurable outcomes within highway services. It also enables authorities to integrate the donut principles into the design, implementation, and monitoring processes of maintenance projects. The tool has been designed to integrate seamlessly with existing activities in highway maintenance. These are planned maintenance, including large-scale activities such as resurfacing, addressing drainage issues, and implementing improvements for road safety. Can also be used for reactive maintenance, responding to issues identified through regular inspections or public reports, such as repairing potholes or replacing damaged signs. And finally, it can be used for cyclic work as well, consisting of scheduled routine activities carried out on a regular cycle. This includes vegetation management and gully cleansing, for example. And the project tool is designed to support detailed on-the-ground measurements. Each theme is broken down into specific questions that translate its broader goals into actionable considerations for implementation. This helps clarify how each topic should be applied at the project level. And tailored scoring criteria outline what's required to achieve scores from 1 to 5 for each theme. And this allows for more precise and streamlined evaluation of a project performance across social and ecological aspects. And just as for the strategic level, of course, you can also score this as 0, which is not applicable. But again, it should be clearly justified and be more as an exemption than a reoccurring score. For project level, the same visuals are available. Either a donut visual showing both the social and ecological lens in one visual, or a spider diagram dividing between social and ecological lenses. And just as for the strategic level, you can visualize the baseline and mitigation results side by side. This helps you compare two different design options or delivery approaches, see where mitigations improve performance, and spot any remaining gaps. And this can be used to make informed decisions, prioritize action, sequence works, and clearly explain decisions to your team and contractors. So, why should you use the Highways Doughnut Toolkit? Well, the Highways Doughnut can really help you to support decision. It can help you to see the big picture, with baseline and mitigation donuts showing strengths, gaps, and improvements. It also streamlines the assessment across projects and strategies, ensuring that the same considerations are made throughout, both at the strategic level and at the project level, ensuring that the same themes and considerations are streamlined. It also lets you compare options quickly using one simple visual to weigh choices side by side. It helps you to balance people and planet by improving one area without harming another. It helps you explain decisions clearly with visuals that brief leaders, partners, and the public alike. And finally, it helps you to track progress by revisiting the visual over time to learn and keep improving. And that was it for me. So thank you very much, and reach out to me if you have any questions. And good luck with applying the toolkit. Bye.